Good afternoon, YouTube, my everyday people, my everyday family, my everyday people family. And today we'll be talking about Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears and grooming behaviors. Not cool. Not cool at all. It's not good. And I'll be right back after this intro. I like to say hello, 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 and welcome to everyone in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you guys for being here and being a part of this. Hey, Rita B, how are you? Nice to see you today. And you guys, hey, Bella Garcia, how are you? It is so nice to see you. And thank you so much for joining me, darling. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing because, like some people, they'll do StreamYard and YouTube. I usually just do YouTube on my phone so that I can see the chat. And two, three. All right. So today's show may have, um, I'm going to give you guys a content warning, a trigger warning before we get started. Today's show may be a trigger for some people. I pray that it's not. Hey, thank you so much, Can't Stop. I appreciate you for coming and being a new subby. Hey, S_Hutchinson, Green Sector. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I thank you guys for coming and joining me. So today we'll be having a conversation about Mr. Spears and Miss Haddish. And I am going to try and take the topic from another perspective. From another perspective. I am going to try and take this topic from another perspective. So we all know that there has been a recent stories, um, about a young lady and a young man that have put a story out about Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish, um, bothering children. Okay, I am going to tell you guys from the what perspective I come from. Again, good afternoon. I'm Vivian Jennings, and today's topic is one of a serious nature. I am a former special education teacher. I have taught in Washington, D.C. I've been a special education coordinator and special education teacher in Washington, D.C., Georgia, and South Carolina. So I've taught and I've been a special education coordinator in all three areas, all three districts. And so the perspective I'm coming from is that of a educator, former educator, and a mandate. I was a mandated reporter when I taught school. And some things have fallen into my lap. Um, so we're just gonna get into this. And I'm going to tell you guys, I have several perspectives on this. I'm going to be playing good cop and bad cop, devil's advocate. But I am going to tell you, I have saw the video. I felt like digging my eyes out after I looked at the video. I was truly, truly disturbed. Hey, Sharon Gupta, how are you today, sweetheart? I was truly, truly disturbed when I looked at this video. I am not going to be showing the video. If you want to go see it, it is out there for you to discover on your own. but I will not be showing that trash over here. But we're going to start by reading an article from the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast. That's what we're going to start. We're going to start with this article from the Daily Beast. I have linked them down into the let's see if I can do this. Wait a minute, that's what I want right there. I've linked this down in my description box, so you can go and look at the whole article. So, a Jane Doe and her younger brother allege in a new lawsuit that the comics recruited them into performing inappropriate, sexually suggestive acts in sketches when they were minors. Okay, so these two young children, or okay, so now the young lady is 22 and the young boy is 14 or 15. This happened when they were 7 and 14 during their childhoods. And according to the Daily Beast, um, Jane Doe and her younger brother said they called Tiffany Haddish Auntie Tiff. So, according to, and she referred to them as her niece and nephew. She met their mother, on a comedy circuit. And from what I understand in reading these articles, Tiffany used to come pick the mom up and take the mom to comedy shows. She used to pick the mom up and take the mom to comedy shows. Hey, Lightstorm K, how are you? And first off, I'm going to say this. I've never been a parent. I've never had any biological children. But from my experience as a previous teacher, I would never allow my children to go anywhere with anyone that I didn't know intimately. And knowing someone intimately don't mean that you're um, in a relationship with them. It means in a sexual relationship. It means that you know them, they know you, they know things about you. So I would have to seriously trust you to just allow my children to go with you. That's number one. Number two, as a former teacher that used to have children that would come to my house and things of that nature, there are things that I always put in place to where I would cover myself as well as the parent and the children. So nobody would be accused of any type of impropriety. And I see in this case that some things were not put in place and they should have been. So, according to the Daily Beast, again, um, Tiffany had a, 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 a relationship with the family. If you understand, she had a relationship with the family. She knew the family. She and the family, she and the mom were close friends. She and she, called the children her niece and nephew. Now, I don't know, and a lot of people say this incident happened when Tiffany was just getting started and Aries Spears was the more well-known comic. I would say this, as an adult, you should use some better discernment and better judgment. Now, I'm going to put my personal feelings in this because guess what? It's my commentary. So I do have a personal opinion. My personal opinion about Tiffany Haddish. I've never thought she was funny. She is, to me, she's loud. She's she would be my ghetto cousin from around the corner. You know, Ari Spears. I can't tell you one Ari Spears joke. I don't even remember him on Mad TV because I never looked at it. It just wasn't my cup of tea and it wasn't funny. Plus, I always thought that Mad TV, that big head Mad TV thing, he just looked creepy to me. He looked like he should be the one who is getting accused, if you know what I mean. So it was just never funny to me. And in as much as saying that, so in this, Jane Doe, which is the young lady, she is an anonymous plaintiff that has filed this case on behalf of both herself and her brother, who is a minor. And the siblings allege that Haddish and Spears recruited them to perform inappropriate acts on camera when they were children. Jane Doe, she's 22 and the brother is 15. And they've adopted pseudonyms, due to their ages during the time of the allegations. Now, these are not the only, this is the only paper that I've looked at. So Jane Doe, her video shoot took place when she was 14, and the brothers took place when he was 7. And the mother is stating that she and Tiffany Haddish met through comedy and they bonded over, they had trauma bonding. They had trauma bonding. They both were going through messy divorces and they were trauma bonded. They became super close. And according to the lawsuit, Tiffany Haddish used to call them and check in with them on birthdays and Christmas and things of that nature. Now, hello, Miss Texas. Now, what happened is in 2013, when Jane Doe was 14, the lawsuit said that she was at this comedy camp, and Tiffany Haddish appeared as, a guest. And she told her, "Hey, guess what? I got a perfect role for it." She called her mom, was like, "Look, I got the perfect role for Niecy. I got the perfect role for her." And in this role, the mom allowed the daughter to go with Haddish. Okay, so first off, why she let her go with her by herself to some kind of commercial shoot? Please tell me that. But and according to the mom, in 2013, like I said, she took her to this. She met her at the camp. She told the little girl, "Oh, I found a perfect part for you." She told her she was gonna have her own commercial. Jane Doe nor her mother knew what the shoot would entail, according to the lawsuit. only Haddish and Spears, who also was on hand to produce the video, knew what the plot was. You're right. I think she let her go because she was a female. But I would say, I don't care if you male, female, chicken, dog, or cat. You're not taking my kids nowhere without me knowing. And not going to a shoot like that. Why would you allow your child to go to a shoot? But she did. Hey, Melissa Scott. Hey, sis, how you doing? And BB Nice. Hi, darling. And thank you to my mods, The Truth and Daisha, and my Scott Ushers, and S_Hutchinson. So she allowed her to go on this shoot with her. And she didn't have any idea of why she was going on a shoot. She just knew she was going on a photo shoot. Not a good look. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. How many of you in here would have allowed your child to go on a photo shoot with Tiffany Haddish? How many of y'all would allow her to go? Put a 1 in there. Tiffany Haddish told you, hey, we're gonna make this paper and your child about to be a star. How many of y'all would have allowed her to go? Exactly. She wouldn't have got my kid to go nowhere. Hey, Muffy, how are you? So I don't, look, I don't proclaim to know everything, but it is what it is. Now, during this recording, during this clip that the 14-year-old had, this is what they said. Okay, so reasoning says, reasoning says she was a single mom who needed help, and she had a younger child that probably would have been running around and not being still, so she trusted her. Okay. She was in a vulnerable situation. All right, I give you that. Hey, Miss Ebony. But let's go on, because my thing is we're here to discuss all parts of it and all aspects of it. All parts and all aspects. All right. So it goes on to say, in fair use, by the way, again, if you want to see this entire article, you can view it down in my description box. I've linked the article, reference this article, and put a link in my description box. Spears and Haddish asked Jane Doe to watch in the recording booth. Allegedly seemed innocuous at first, if a little strange. A group of co-eds were arguing over a Subway sandwich, but then the co-eds began eating the sandwich in a suggestive manner from opposite ends, moaning and making sexual noises as they both ate the sandwich in a manner that simulated the act of fellatio per the lawsuit. So this is my question. Can y'all tell me where that would have been funny at? For a child to be doing this? Then Spears told Jane to mimic what she had seen on the screen, including the noises precisely like she heard them throughout the video. Okay, so she left. So from reading this part of the article, Haddish left the little girl in the room by herself with Spears. Tiffany left the little girl in the room by herself with Ari Spears. And he watched this video with this little girl, a 14-year-old, and then told her to mimic what you saw. How many of you would have found that troubling, or how many of you find that suspicious? Hey, Watanya, how are you, dear? And Muffy, trouble woman. If I haven't spoke to you, please forgive me. I just want to get through this topic because, like I said, this can be kind of triggering for some people, and I want you guys to have your, give me your opinion on what you're thinking. All right, so the little girl said she was nervous and she became silent. I would have been too. A grown man telling me to do that and make ooh and ah noises, I would have fell silent too. And she just had, it seemed like she had just met him. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's from what it seems like to me. Now, the little girl complained that Tiffany Haddish explained and she showed her how to give fellatio, including movements, noises, moaning, and groaning, and told Jane Doe to do it. And she said she did it while Aries Spears looked on. That's it. She left the booth and she didn't complete what they wanted her to do, but Haddish paid the little girl $100 before sending her home. Now, I don't know what kind of relationship this little girl had with her mama. Yeah, I don't know what kind of relationship this little girl had with her mama, but it said that the little girl went on and didn't tell her mama what exactly happened. Y'all, if that would have happened to me, I would have told somebody. I definitely would have told it. I would have told my teacher, somebody. So I'm surprised that the little girl didn't tell anybody what happened. So you would have thought that she would have told somebody, but they say she didn't. So she felt weird about it at the moment. And she said a year later, Haddish allegedly approached the children's mother with a similar pitch, saying that she was filming a sizzle reel for Nickelodeon. She was filming a sizzle reel for Nickelodeon. Well, lo and behold, it was a sizzle, all right, but it wasn't for Nickelodeon. It ended up on a website called Funny or Die. And from what I understand, it also ended up on Aries Spears' website. Not a good look. Not a good look. And the title of the video was "The Mind of a P Word." In the mind of a P word. Now I'm going to tell y'all what I saw in the video because, like I said, I saw the video, and it was nothing funny about the video. Um, I described a video to two people last night, and I cried. The video was disgusting, Watanya. I cried, y'all. I cried, and I did. I cried. It was not a good look. You right, truth. It was not a good look. The video was so disgusting. Tiffany Haddish brings the little boy downstairs in his underwear. Yeah, my stomach started turning when I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, where is this going? Then you see a grown man sitting on the couch, and let's just say the little boy was told to play with toys in suggestive manners. I don't know who the cameraman was, but the cameraman needed to be slapped upside the head. And I would say that please, if you are triggered by this, please, 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 I would ask that you log off now if you think you're going to be triggered by this. But in the video, they did all kind of angles on the little boys behind in underwear. They had the little boy playing suggestively with toys. When I say toys, I mean like he had a train and a car and a plane, but he was mimicking moves that were not childlike. They had the little boy lay on his back with his legs gapped open while Ari Spears peered through a paper lustfully at him as they played R. Kelly's bumping rhyme. I was I I've discussed this with several people and they were like, well, he didn't actually touch the little boy. Well, yeah, he did. In the video, he sprays oil on the little boy and rubs his back. The next scene, he's in a bathroom. Tiffany asks Tiffany's in the bathroom, the little boy's in the tub. She asks Ari Spears to come in and watch him, and she runs out. And Ari Spears sits there and starts lustfully oogling at the little boy again. And the song comes on. He tells him that he was friends with Pete Sandusky. Anybody knows Pete Sandusky was the head coach at Penn State that was accused of bothering the team members. And the comment he made was, uh, I'm friends with Pete Sandusky. There was a rule: touch but don't tell. Touch but don't tell. All right. Then it was a scene, and he was pouring water on the little boy. Ari Spears was. The last scene was Ari Spears was sitting in the kitchen at the table with like some booty shorts on, some kind of Daisy Dukes with nothing on his body. And the little boy now is sitting next to the refrigerator and looking through a newspaper at Ari Spears. And Ari Spears has a little boy. The little boy put lotion on Ari Spears and rubs him. Not a good look, bro. Not a good look. That is something that should never have been done. Nothing, it should never have been done. So that's the video. I want to describe the video to y'all. This video was uploaded to that site, Funny or Die. Now, it it didn't come down, y'all, until 2018. They talking about they took it down as soon as they became aware. This is my thing. YouTube will leave up a video until somebody complains about it. Am I right? I'm thinking that's what happened with them. They left it up there until somebody complained. That's how they found out about it. Somebody complained because it was uploaded to their site. So somebody had to upload that video to the site. It doesn't say who, but now to get themselves out of trouble, Funny or Die, they told the Daily Beast, Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved in the conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018 immediately after becoming aware of its existence. Now, the video was taped at Ari Spears' house, y'all. It was taped at Ari Spears' house. It gets better. I mean, it just, this is ridiculous. And then, okay, so Jane said Haddish's behavior changed once the children arrived at the home, no longer in the company of their mother. It was like a whole 180-degree almost. Tiffany had never been mean to her or never raised her voice to the little girl until that point. So at that point, she's saying when she got there, she raised her voice to her. That's what she's saying. The little girl saying Tiffany raised her voice. Now, this little boy spent most of his time. Okay, the children, according to the lawsuit, the children were separated during the shoot. Haddish told her to remain on the couch downstairs, and the brother's shoot took place upstairs. And I seen the video. The Daily Beast said they reviewed it. I seen the video. So, like they said, he spends most of his time in underwear. Ari Spears is smoking cigarettes, and he looking at the child in nude in the bathtub. He pouring water on his feet, and he looking at him through this newspaper. And then by the end of the video, the child is doing peering at the babysitter through a newspaper. And then he rubs oil on Ari Spears. And then the final line reads, watch who you leave your children, your kids with. Well, ain't that ironic? Ain't that ironic? Now, once the film was over, John Doe called his mother. He was crying. And he said he didn't want to film anymore. And when Jane Doe said the brother came downstairs, he was red in the face. And they alleged that they gave him something. Like some type of feel-good candy. That's what he called it. Now, 4 years later, the gossip website Gossip published an article about Spears that described the sketch. And it was then that the mother went and found it. And I'm saying it supposedly triggered the trauma all over again. It supposedly triggered the trauma all over again and caused them to have anxiety, depression, and guilt. That was the mother said. Now, I want to get to the part where Let me see. Jane Doe says she don't date guys. She don't have sex. She's not your regular 22-year-old who's out partying and having fun and hooking up and stuff. Her little brother places band-aids over cameras on all of his electronics due to ongoing fear of being watched and recorded. And you're right, they played this up as a public service announcement. But they're accusing Haddish as of neglect of supervision and failure to warn, breach of fiduciary duty, and constructive fraud. The little boy wrote he ain't got no friends right now, and that he's scared of making friends because he don't know who saw the video, and he's scared he's going to be teased about this video. John said that he had to kick and scream and cry, and Tiffany came and told John Doe to let Aries Spears touch him. He said when he got mad, when he kept crying, Tiffany got mad at her and told him to get dressed and took him home. He said, I remember her yelling at me in the car and telling me that I would never get on TV acting like that. Now, this is the kicker. The siblings' mother negotiated a settlement in 2019, but the agreement allegedly does not bind Haddish, who the complaint alleges insinuated she wanted no part of Spears' settlement agreement via text, or the siblings who had no guardian ad litem present to represent their interests or as minors. Now, this kid say he used to sit in his closet and cry until he fell asleep. Oh no, the mom said she used to sit in her closet. Used to sit in her closet and cry because she didn't want the kids to hear her crying. And the mom said she lived with regret. The mom and his daughter. Now, y'all, this is not wine. This is soda. Because I wanted to make sure I was clear headed and level headed when I talked about this. The young lady says, as an adult, I have the power to protect my little brother now and have the power to do something about what happened to him. And that's her goal, to get it done. Uh, Let me see. Uh, all right, that was that one. Now, when I went to the Daily Mail, y'all know Tiffany Haddish made a statement. All right, let me see. And in these statements, y'all, the statements basically, Tiffany Haddish said, I know people have a bunch of questions. I get it. I'm right here with you. Unfortunately, because there is an ongoing legal case, there's little that I can say right now. But clearly, while this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all. And I deeply regret having to agree to act in it. I really look forward to being able to share a lot more about this situation as soon as I can. Now, according to the LA Times, let me see, it was the LA Times. Let me look. Cause y'all, I got so many what you call in here. It's ridiculous. I think it was the LA Times. Yeah, it was the LA Times. And the reason I didn't put that article up there is because, and I didn't pull that one because they actually gave the mom's name, which was ridiculous. But this one gave the mom's name too. But I'm not gonna put this one on screen because I'm not gonna give the mom's name because I don't want to victim shame. But according to Tiffany Haddish's attorney, the plaintiff's mother has been trying to assert these bogus claims against Miss Haddish for several years. Every attorney who was initially taken on her case, and there were several, ultimately dropped the matter once it became clear the claims were meritless and Miss Haddish would not be shaken down. And the mother is allowing the daughter, the adult daughter, to represent herself and the son in the case. And Ari Spears' lawyer called it a shakedown. And the siblings are suing Haddish and Spears for damages, claiming they are both have developed social disorders due to the resulting trauma. Now, what I will say is I am going to say this. And the police, the mother has gone to the police also. The mother has gone to the police also. So I'm going to drop the link because uh S. Hutchinson and I, we had a very lively discussion. S. Hutchinson, myself, and actually another content creator, we had a lively discussion last night in reference to this. And myself and a couple other people, they all know how I feel about this. They know how I feel about this. The young lady is 22 years old and she has custody of the 14-year-old now. So I'm going to say this. First off, I don't know if it's a money grab or not. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if it's a money grab or not. But it's weird that the mother was going through uh the mother and was going through negotiations with Ari Spears. And the negotiation was $15,000. That's the money that was on the table, $15,000. Aries, they said the mother, due to her mental health issues and a breakdown, uh, a breakdown, that is the reason why she couldn't do it. Is that you, Hutch?
It is
It
I.
is I. All right. You know I had to put my protecting banner up.
So
Um,
hold on, let me look at the, you might have to mute when I go. We have some type of feedback, but
that's yours. It's not mine, it's yours.
okay. So now this is what I wanted to say because we me and Viv, we talked about this for a couple hours yesterday. And I was disturbed by the situation because while I do hold Tiffany accountable for whatever took place because it's not looking right, I don't blame anybody as much as I put blame into the mother, because it is her responsibility to protect her children. Now, the mother states that Tiffany told her that this production was going to be for Nickelodeon or whatever, and she was told that she could not be there. This is just me as a mother. If
No, she
I'm
wasn't told. That's not what she was told.
okay,
All
so
the
back it up.
articles.
What did it say she was told? Because the article that I read, remember, I don't know what you were reading yesterday, but we were reading two different articles. The article that I read, the mother stated that she was told she couldn't be there or wasn't necessary for her to be there, one or the other. But her
The
presence
mother,
there,
the two, all the articles I read, it just said that uh the mother didn't go. But go ahead and talk. I got something else that I'm gonna look at real
okay,
quick.
say the last part of that again. You said it said that the mother what?
The mother did not go. It didn't say why the mother
Okay,
didn't go. It just said she didn't go. Go ahead and
okay,
talk. I'm gonna go and find something else. I got something else I gotta look
okay.
at.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
So let's just say that the mother was allowed to be there. She chose not to be there. That's the point. And that's where, as a parent, you have to check yourself. Now, with the two children, there's two incidents that happened almost a year apart with the boy and the little girl. So now the boy is 14 and the daughter is 22. Once she was made aware, she should have went to the police then. But now we're hearing about damages for mental health treatment and all of this other stuff.
The mother, okay. So from what I understand, the mother did go to the police. The mother had went to the police first. In another
Okay.
article, I read.
So rewind me again. When did the mother go to the police? Because from my understanding,
The
the
mother went to the
mother,
police in
mhm,
2018. That's when, because, all right, so after the little boy started crying in during the 2014, nobody, she asked Aries Spears for a copy of the video. Aries Spears told her he didn't have it, it was unedited. Then he said it was deleted. Well, it came up in 2018 that it was on this website.
right. I'm
And
gonna pull
then
back up
that
my link
was,
I was reading yesterday.
yeah, and that's when the mom decided that she was going to start, and she started her negotiations.
Right. Now, this is just me. If you touch my kids in any type of way, it doesn't mean that I'm going to let you live lavish while you've done my kids this or that. But my thing is, I want criminal justice. Now, for Tiffany to hire the lawyer that she hired now, people are saying that she knows she's in some serious problems. And we know based off of, because I didn't watch the video. Once Viv told me don't watch it, she was like, Shelly, don't even watch it. You're not gonna be able to deal with this. Like, don't even watch it. I wish I could go back. And I didn't watch it or whatever. So Tiffany knows that she's in for a fight of her life. And I think that this should ruin her career because they also state that Tiffany and the mother, they say that they were friends. But then in another publication, it says that Tiffany met the mother at some type of comedy show she was doing for, I guess, people in need or something to that thing. And if you're a celebrity, public figure or whatever, we all see what happened with Michael Jackson. Let's say Michael Jackson didn't do it. We saw the implications from allowing children to be in your presence without their parents around. And you passing them $100 and you doing this and you doing that. All of that right there is not a good look on her end. So then somebody stated that, there's no production that's basically done in the dark, meaning, where is the camera crew? Where are these other people? which is a great question, because then it comes as though, why are you only holding, said person responsible? If it was me, I would want everybody from production, which we're then finding out is Spears or whatever, but I would want everybody. So then Vivian, I don't remember if it was Vivian or Mo, they made another
Ellie,
great point.
hold on. I got okay. Remember, I told you I had something that fell in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
I got a supposed copy of the filing.
Okay.
This was shared. This I know this was shared on a young lady's stream last night, and she went through it point by point.
Right.
It has unfiled copy on it. So I'm telling you now, is this true or is this not true? I don't know, but I'm going to
If
show
it's a
you.
court, if it's a police report or court
It's
paper,
it's
then
it's the court paper. So hold on a second.
okay. I mean, receipts are receipts,
Can you see that?
Oh. Well, I'm just gonna say, for me being,
It's small. It's kind of small,
no, no,
but
no, 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 no. I'm saying me as a person is, and I'm not saying this receipt is not real, but this is if, like, I would want to see the documentation from the court, not from no said third or fourth or fifth party, because anybody can make that up. Like, is it a seal on it? Is there a seal?
I just wanted to show this part right here.
Okay.
And remember what we were talking about? I just wanted to show one part of it because we were asking about the mom.
Okay.
On or about August 4th, 2014, the plaintiff's mother was contacted by Haddish eh, for
Make
John
it a
Doe.
little bigger.
I don't know how to make it bigger.
Right above your, see the little cross? Slowly take your mouse up. Okay, go to, like, where it says timeline of video filming. Put your thing right on the mouse right there.
This right here, these three dots up here.
No, on the screen where you're reading, where it says timeline of the video filming on the written paper.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all, I'm learning this. No, that's not it.
Child, no, you don't want somewhere else. That's okay. As long as you can read it, just go from there then. Don't worry about it.
All right. So I just wanted to show y'all what I had. So, but I'm gonna tell you what I'll come back on the screen. I'll just tell you what it say. What it says. All right. So the part that I'm reading is that what did I do? On or about the 14th. Let me stop sharing because if I stop sharing, maybe I could see it better. Maybe I could see it better. I just wanted to show you that what I had though. Stop sharing. All right, so it say on or about the 4th of August. Basically, what in the world am I doing here, Viv? Oh, I see what it is. Okay. The mother, okay. The mother was contacted by Haddish to do the skit, and she told her it was going to be for a Nickelodeon sizzle reel. With Haddish being a close friend, the mother said she saw no issue. Now, this is where I take issue. The mother dropped off her 7-year-old son, and her 14-year-old daughter was supposed to chaperone her brother. That's a big red flag for me. Now, the little boy called home crying after the filming. The mother contacted Haddish so she could pick her children up, But Haddish stated that she was already on her way to drop the children back home. She asked Spears to give her footage on August 5th. And Haddish said, she asked Haddish for the footage first. And Haddish said, no, you got to contact Spears. Spears said that, because she said she, on about the 7th, she called Spears for the footage. He told her he hadn't edited the footage yet. When she contacted him on the 9th, he said he was very behind on editing and would get back to her. On the 11th, the mother asked for the unedited footage. Spears said he'd get back to the mother about the unedited footage. She contacted Haddish. Haddish said she ain't having any of the footage. And then she asked Haddish what the skit was about. And she said it was just a Nickelodeon comedy skit. And then on the 13th, according to the mother, August 13th, Ari Spears told her that John Doe was so uncooperative that the footage was unstable and was deleted. Now, the mother said she ain't know nothing about the skit until 2018. That's when she found it on that website. Bossip told her that it was up on the website. What's your thoughts on that?
Right. That's why I was saying that it wasn't that well, she found out about it when somebody let her know that it was on the website. People are also trying to say this is because he came for Lizzo. Do you want to get into that?
Well, okay, so for my first thing is, what if, okay, so he told her that the film had been deleted. Let's talk about that first. As a parent, what would you have done if he had told you that it had been deleted?
My kids would have never been there, so I can't even answer on that because I got 3 children. And let me tell you, there's a video of me walking my child to school when he was in the 9th grade. He's like, Mom, what are you doing? I didn't even allow my kids to spend the night with certain family members, and not because they were said, offenders or whatever. I just didn't play those games, even with friends or whatever. I didn't, just because this is my friend and we've been friends since high school, my kids is going to just be staying with every and anybody. So, this mother needs to be held accountable also.
And Shelly, I do agree with you there. Look, y'all, I'm 53. My mama still asks me where I'm going. Where you going? Who you going with? What you got on? And no, my mom didn't play that. You going over, y'all? I had an auntie. I had one auntie that my mama let me go to her house, and my sister. Nobody else. My mama didn't play those games either. And my mom met all of my, if I was going over somebody's house, I couldn't go to nobody's house like after school and stuff like that unless my mama had met their parents and knew what was going on.
I can call my daughter right now, even though she's on vacation right now. She went to go visit a friend of hers, and my daughter will tell me it is only one friend that I let her stay the night at her friend's house, and this was when she was in the 8th grade. And this was, after years and years and years of bothering me, but I didn't do that. My kids never even spent the weekend with my brothers. They never. I just didn't believe in. Even though I was a teen mom, at least with my 2 oldest kids, I just didn't believe in that. And another thing that I stated to Viv last night, and something that I think that I'm going to get into a little bit deeper another time on my channel is, as parents, we have to stop forcing our children to do things that they may not be comfortable doing. Stop telling them that they got to go kiss so and so because that's their uncle, or you can go sit on his lap. That's your cousin, or that's your uncle, or that's my daddy. It doesn't matter.
Okay, Shelly, first off, I told the people when I talked to you guys about this last night, what happened? I broke out in what? I broke out in tears. Am I right? I
Yes.
was I was literally upset, you guys. And I told Shelly, my parents never, my uncles, all my daddy brothers, they would not allow any girl children to sit in their lap. They wouldn't allow the boy children to sit because the boys just weren't gonna sit in their lap because they just had another thing. Boys, you're supposed to be outside playing ball. Y'all supposed to be outside learning how to fish and all that stuff. They didn't play that. I had one girl cousin. She would always want to go and sit on my father's lap or my uncle's lap and hug up on them. They no child, no child. And most of my father and most of my father's brothers were ministers. No child, you not gonna hug up on these men. And them women folk in our family would be like, look here, you don't be hugging up on no men folk like that. I don't care if it's your uncle or who. That ain't your daddy, and you ain't gonna be hanging on him. It just didn't happen.
Yeah. And you also, even as a wife, or you could be a girlfriend, or even a mother, even if it's your sons, you have to let them know that to protect their own self, don't allow them to get into a situation where, even if a kid, because kids do have imaginations, so let's even say that a kid is lying, you also have to protect, yourself, protect your spouse, your sons, your children. You have to teach them this stuff, that maybe it's not a good idea that they always have children around them, especially if the kids have a lot of issues going on, whether it be mental health, emotional abuse, whatever. It could end up causing them to be fighting for their freedom, because they always say innocent until being proven guilty, but that's not always the case, because even though Tiffany has not been proven guilty as of yet, I already feel some type of way. I don't want to go listen to nothing she's talking about with a comedy show, a movie, or whatever, because my mind has already been tainted. And it's so much harder to clear your name after you've been accused of something. And what's even harder, and it's not even harder, it's impossible, is to give your children back their innocence once it has been taken away. Once you have put your children in a situation to where their innocence can be taken away, I don't care how much therapy you give them or get them,
And
you
this is
can't give it back.
and this is the thing I'm gonna say, Shelly. First off, again, Ari Spears has never been funny to me. There are some other reels that I've seen of him where he was playing Bill Cosby. And you know how Bill Cosby had the Jello pudding pops,
Right.
and he's like, got this Jello pudding pop, and he's acting like Tiffany Haddish is his neighbor, and he like trying to put the pudding pop in her mouth, and then she in the bathroom using the bathroom, and he's standing there by the door licking on the pudding pop, looking at her through the door, oogling at her, and
Right.
then he like goes in the bathroom and puts the pudding pop in her mouth, but where she's sitting on the toilet, her mouth is near his crotch, and the pudding pop is at the same level. So it's like this innuendos. What's funny about that? Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
And I don't
Yeah.
find I didn't find either one of the sketches funny at all. It wasn't funny. My other thing is, enough about them. If I'm going to say this about the two of them. If it's, I do pray that if they did it and it was, well, it ain't if they did it, they did do something was done. It was a video. Whatever happens, whatever the outcome is, whatever is supposed to happen, I'm praying that it happen. But I am going to say this when I'm going back to the children. I have seen so many children messed up from situations where they are put in compromising positions. Parents, I'm telling y'all now, grandparents, y'all better start watching your children. Watch your girl children and your boy children. Just because he is a boy, it doesn't mean that there are not people out there that's out to get him. They will assault your boy child just as quick as they'll assault your girl child. And I'm going to say this. Whether you are in church, whether you are at home, whether it's the neighbor, your auntie, even if it's your granddaddy, y'all better start watching y'all kids and be very careful what you do, where they go. I'm going to say this. It will give, there is a long lasting trauma when children are put into certain situations like this. I've seen the outcome. I'm surprised that they didn't talk about the young man and the young lady's education, because that's what I used to see suffer when they would be put in these situations. Education would be the first thing to suffer because they wouldn't have the motivation to learn. They would not have the motivation to learn because their mind will be running back and playing these scenes over and over again. Shelly, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, they suffer from all different aspects. And then the fact that this boy is still young and his looks probably haven't changed that much. You get what I'm saying? He's still recognizable. And like he said, they try to make me gay because they wanted him to do things that he now realizes is not, you know, I guess, quote unquote, normal or whatever the case may be, or it's not, whether it was the opposite sex or whatever, he knows that it's unacceptable.
And
Like I
Shelly,
said,
I want to touch on something like you said earlier. Stop making your children do stuff they don't want to do.
right. Yeah, stop making them do it. And also, and I said this to you last night, as parents, you have to stop being afraid to confront a person on a situation that involves your children because you don't want to upset your man by letting him know that it's not acceptable that he's walking around the house in boxers with his peen swinging and dangling all over the place and wife beaters. You don't want to ruin your place or your position in the church. So you don't want to say to pastor what you're doing is not looking right. It's not feeling right. You don't want to say to deacon, what do you mean you got to get with my boy after? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to confront a person. So whether it be a 9-to-5 job that you're working or you're trying to work your way up in the ranks, or whether it's that you really want to live through your children and you want to give them this fame, you have to stop being willing to sacrifice your children for ultimately money, clout, whatever it is. You have to stop doing that because it's your responsibility to protect your children. What you can't control, if you're sending your children off to school and the teacher is doing some crazy stuff, I'm not going to hold that against the parent unless your child is coming to you and you just don't want to believe your kid. You should always believe your children.
Shelly, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you a story. I had a young lady. She came into the teacher's lounge, and she was begging a male teacher for some money. She walked in behind. I want a soda. Buy me a soda. Like flirty like. And so another teacher got on her and told her, get out of here. First off, you're in the teacher's lounge. You invaded our space. Secondly, that's unladylike to be doing that. Well, she got rah-rah with the lady. And I pulled her outside, and she and I had a little talk. I said, look, sis, this ain't no good look. Because she was an 8th grader. So she was old enough to know it wasn't a good look. I said, you run around here behind this grown married man, begging him for money. I know good and well your mama don't know you up here begging men for money. I said, do I need to call Cornbread? Because that was her mama's name. I said, I'll call Cornbread and let her know you up here acting a fool. I said, don't play this with me. I said, if you don't get your behind out of here. I said, then go on down there with the rest of them children. Well, she went home and lied to her mama and said the teacher was being mean to her. Cornbread came up there and told that lady, I'm going to beat your ass up and down this hallway. I'm going to take my boot off and beat your ass up and down this hallway like you my chap. And I had to go and tell her, look, your child was begging for money, and I told her not to. I confronted her about it. She was the one who did this. She followed that man into there begging. Now you come up here and you've accused this lady of doing something that she didn't do, and the lady was trying to look out for your child while your child was doing something that was unacceptable.
Right. But you're not going to like this teaching that I come with, but I'm going to let you finish.
Now, should I have called Cornbread when it happened? Yeah, I probably should have. Now thinking back on it.
That's where that little girl got that behavior from, Cornbread.
And she did. She did get it from Cornbread. But
right.
the thing is, like I told Cornbread, look.
So the little girl didn't have to lie on the teacher. See, when these parents, when they grow up, whether it be on the system, whether they grow up bumming and begging, always got their hand out, always asking somebody for something, these will be the same type of women to be up in the dope boys' faces on the corner because they want to mess with a hustler for the money. So their children grow up seeing this type of behavior. And then what they do is they copy it. But then when you tell them there's something that their child is doing is not looking on the up and up, they become in a defense, because at the end of the day, these grown parents, they are used to selling their children, because let's be honest, what's going on in Hollywood is no different than what's going on in the hood of every city that you've ever been to before, where you have women that are crack addicted who will let their 14-year-old daughters date the 30-year-old drug dealer on the corner. Why? Because he gonna break her off with a little bit of coke and some weed and get her a bottle from the store, and they okay with it as long as they high and they numb from all the drugs.
Hey, Shells, you gotta remember, I told the story about the 4th grader that ended up in my 7th grade class because they had to take her out to 4th grade because she was pregnant. Remember that story I told you?
Yeah.
When I was in DC and I was teaching special needs, I ended up with a 4th grader in my 7th grade class because she couldn't be around the kids in the 4th grade because she was pregnant. Who was she pregnant by? The mama's drug dealer that was living in the house with her.
Right. I've seen these situations living in the hood. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen how women will sacrifice their children. And the thing is, now you have parents who are then sacrificing their children for what Jay-Z said, which is the biggest drug to man, which is fame. People wanting fame, wanting clout, and willing to have it at any and all costs. So I'm never going to take away, Tiffany should be held accountable. Everybody should be held accountable. Every single person,
And
every single
Shirley,
person.
and Shirley,
But
I'm
the
gonna go
parents,
here
it
with
starts with the
this.
parents.
I'm gonna go here with this one, and you probably about to start cussing or yelling. This takes me back to Aaliyah. I think Aaliyah mama and daddy should have been in trouble.
Wait, why would I be cussing? I agree. You damn right they should have been in trouble.
I think Aaliyah mama and daddy and uncle. That's why they never said nothing. And
Yes,
that's what this brings
yes.
me back to.
No, it ain't gonna make me cuss. It's what this is what has been going on forever. I've had content creators that reach out to me and they want me to talk to their kids and stuff. Why would you want? There's nothing about my channel that's child friendly. But you always have people who are constantly trying to use their kids as a way to get in close with somebody. But at the end of the day, that's why I said we all, even as adults, we have to protect ourselves. I'm not going to go do no daggone meet and greet at Disneyland with children. For what?
And you right, Daisha, cornbread, that's what she did. Cornbread, now I'm gonna tell you, cornbread was rough. Cornbread was rough. But I am going to tell you guys this. I have had parents, they will sacrifice their children even at the hands of a teacher. Um, right before I left DC, right before I left DC, one of the reasons I left DC was because of a situation where I was going to have to testify against one of my colleagues. I went to my colleague. I told him this is not a good look. This young lady is in your face too much, and you're allowing her to be in your face. I went to the principal. I went to her parent. Um, it was a weird situation. I went in for a tonsillectomy. I went in to get my tonsils taken out. Y'all, I ain't lying. My coworkers called me. They was like, "Girl, look at the news." I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Y'all, they was like, first off, how'd your surgery go?" I was like, "I could barely talk. I just had a tonsillectomy." They was like, "Girl, look at the news." Y'all, I looked at the news, almost fell out the bed. Why school was on the news and they was carrying that dude out of there in handcuffs.
When I was in the ninth grade, this girl was messing with the janitor at school. Now, it's not like I reported or anybody else reported because growing up in a certain environment, and even during that time, I was dating dudes that was had already been graduated and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But kids, even in that age, may think that that's normal, but parents know that it's not normal. So when you see something that's not on the up and up, you got to do something about it. You can't wait 10, 15 years later and the first thing out your mouth is run me some more money. Run me some more money. Because to me, it seemed like the mother didn't have no problem with nothing that was going on as long as the kids was getting dropped off at home with a crisp $100 bill. And that's just real talk. The kid's
I
parent
don't know
is
how
no
much
victim.
I don't know if the second child got anything. But when she said she wanted 15,000,
All
and
the while probably on Obamacare getting free medical insurance and free medical, I mean free yeah, medical benefits or whatever.
and
I'm just
then
saying, just crock of crap.
but my other thing is now I'm trying to figure out why they were negotiating with her. Did you just
Money, money, money. Money, money, money.
and there are so many, y'all would not believe how many situations, y'all, I'm telling y'all. It's so disheartening when you think about it. Our kids are so special and they're so precious, but they're losing in their a lot of them are losing their innocence at the speed of lightning. These two children ended up with trauma, and just this situation happened. Could y'all imagine some of the other situations that's not that this wasn't severe, that's more severe? You said Martin Johnson, he interviewed who? The mother or the daughter? Or this past he interviewed, wait a minute, let me see. Or the woman in Illinois that came out as adult that said her mom sold her out to a pastor who impregnated her at 13 and then took her to have an abortion. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. That is so ridiculous and sad. Y'all, I'm just gonna say this. Protect your children. Protect your kids at all costs. Protect your kids at all costs. At all costs. What's your thought on that, Shelly, about your children? I know what you're gonna do.
What am I going to do?
I know you going to fight, kick, scream, and kill about your children.
Hell yeah. I'm not playing when it comes to mine because they didn't ask to be born. And I get it. People end up with addictions and things of that nature, but it's not your kids' problem. They shouldn't have to suffer behind that. And you have to protect your kids by any means necessary. And this so many people were wrong in this situation, even if it was for a skit or whatever. So many people just were wrong, wrong, wrong. So then Tiffany's thing is she can't speak on it now because it's an ongoing investigation. But she was out at the club partying. But what I told Vivian also is that the one thing about this story, if any good could come out of it, is for people to at least who weren't already thinking this way to understand that women can be doing inappropriate things as well. And that we don't need to just only protect our daughters, we need to also protect our sons. Because, too often people be like, oh, let the boys go. The boys can go. But no, y'all girls stay here. I don't want nobody touching my girls. No, your boys are just as vulnerable as these girls are.
The real Tanisha J said 15,000 is very low ball amount for the abuse they allege they suffered. There should be pain and suffering along with the criminal charges applicable. You're right. But according to them, that is what the mom had negotiated originally. That's what the mom had
To a
negotiated.
crackhead, that's like $1 million to a crackhead. So to her, she might think that's some real money, and that may be the money that she had. Did she initiate this money recently, or was this back some years back when she had initiated that? Because remember, Tiffany haven't been getting big money for that long. Remember, Tiffany was homeless, living out her car. Kevin Hart let her borrow $300.
What
Now here's
happened
another
is
thing. Mm-hmm.
what okay, so again, the mom came at them in 2014. The so-called footage had been deleted. Then she finds out in 2018 that it's actual video out there. Somehow the video gets deleted from that website. And the mom starts from what I understand, the mom went to the police. Then she started hiring lawyers at that time. And then they were trying to come to a settlement, I think in 2019 or 2020, for the 15,000. And now the daughter has custody of the brother.
Right. Says it all.
And they said the mother has some mental health issues going on.
Right.
So
And I thought of something else when this story had surfaced. Tiffany and Common, they had just been dating for whatever amount of years, and then they had broke up or whatever. Now, before that, I can't remember who the other person was he was dating, which was saying they was a virgin and they had never even had sex together. Oh, him and Eric, and when him and Erica Badu had been dating, Erica then gave it to everybody and had babies with every goddamn body, but now she with him, and they not sexually active, but they was together for 2 years. Then him and Tiffany Haddish, they were in a relationship, and I'm not saying that Common has anything to do with this or anything like that, but what I'm saying is a lot of times you have men who will date a woman who will then go out to get children and bring them back. You know what I mean? I have a friend in her own.
Common has a daughter.
Huh?
Common has a daughter.
No, I'm not saying him having a daughter. I'm just saying that you have a lot of men who they may be with a woman and not get nothing from the woman, but that's just a cover for some other stuff. Danny Boy got kids, but he gay as gay can be, and said how he had been sleeping with people since he was with Diddy and them, with Bad Boy.
True.
So, we know the Andrea Kellys of the world who wait until some stuff happened later and then they want to take part, they want to participate in the documentary. When the shit was going on, they didn't mind licking and laughing. Shout out to Stump Down with all of these different people and doing and participating in grooming style behavior. R. Kelly today is who he was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Nobody just wakes up suddenly one day at 40, 45 years old and they're a pedo. No, this is who they've been all along. Now, there was conversation taking place in one of the other sectors. I try not to speak on other sectors because if I don't know the players and I don't know the history, I don't like to speak on something that I'm not.
And we're gonna say the P. We're gonna say the P word.
Okay, P. Okay, so all I heard was a clip from this. I'm assuming the person's a content creator or whatever, and basically what the person was saying was that when he was 12 or 13 years old, he would be at home unattended with younger children, whether it's siblings, cousins, whoever, that would be half his age. And basically, there was no supervision, so you can't blame the parents for what was going on. And the consensus that I was getting from a lot of people was that, well, it's normal for kids to touch on one another and stuff like that. But we have to stop making certain things normal. When a child is 12 and 13 years old, they know right from wrong. And on no circumstances should they be touching on a child 6 years old in that type of way. But until we start calling that stuff out, yes.
All right, so it's normal for children of the same age to explore. The same age, like in the same age group to explore. But a 12-year-old knows that it's wrong for them to be playing doctor with a 6-year-old. Unless they have diminished mental capacity. Unless they have a diminished mental capacity, they know. Now this is from my doing research and things of that nature from the research I, in my previous work. But they know. And the thing is, that's why if a 12-year-old bothers a 6-year-old, that's why the are called. And you're right, Mo. Victims often become predators. Because I've seen that
Exactly.
happen. I've
Yes.
seen that happen where brothers were being bothered by their stepfather, not their father, their stepfather, and the mother's new husband. He ended up in jail. The kids ended up in a group home, and his brothers, the older brothers, participated in assaulting the younger brother in the group home with other boys. Again, the victims re victimizing and becoming predators.
All right, Viv, I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna let you finish it out. I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna go back in the chat.
Well, you guys, this has been a lively discussion. A lively discussion. I'm going to say this, as Shelly has told you, watch your children. As I've told you, be careful of your children. Do not leave your children with anybody. Anybody. We all know it's that family member that everybody be like, don't leave your don't let Ray Ray be in there around them kids by themselves. Y'all need to confront them and call them out if Ray Ray around there bothering people's children. And please, parents, talk to your children about good and bad touch. Good and bad touch. Leave. One of the things I took away from this article is that young lady could not go and talk to her mother when a situation happened. Please have a line of communications where your children can come talk to you about anything. Because if something happened at school, something happened at the cheerleader practice, at the baseball practice, and allow your boys, encourage your male children that the lines of communication open also. If they feel uncomfortable, if something happened to them, something was done that they didn't feel right about, have that line in that space where they can come and talk to you. Please, 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 parents, have them. So, as my mom always say, live, love, and laugh. And as my daddy always say, Lord, make us a blessing so we can be a blessing. And I hope y'all caught something interesting that you could use out of this. And I want any young person or any old person, if you think something is going on and you feel in some type of way, tell somebody. Don't let our babies suffer in silence. All right? Y'all, I'm out. Two fingers. Good night, everybody.